Hey guys, it's Jolene from Smith's Nature Friendly Farms. I have just planted one of the most awesome trees and I want to share 5 reasons why you need this tree in your yard. Okay, so first off, let me tell you a little bit about who inspired this tree. This actually came originally from one of our viewers. They actually recommended a book, and it is Doug Tallamy's Nature's Best Hope. This book was awesome, full of lots of factual information on how nature could be better helped through a whole bunch of different things. I highly recommend the book. But this isn't about the book, this is about the tree that was inspired by the author, who this tree is their #1 most favorite tree. The tree we're talking about today is the white oak tree. Not necessarily a great tree if you have a very small urban landscape. This is more a tree that's going to be better meant for somebody with a large piece of property. But if you have the space for it, it is probably the #1 tree in North America to plant for habitat. So I'm going to give you 5 great reasons why you should plant it if you have the space for it. All right, so this is our white oak tree, and I know it looks super sad, but the looks are honestly deceiving. The tree arrived just recently and it was in dormant state, so it's not meant to look alive. They actually have huge disclaimers all across the packaging that says the plant is not dead, it is alive. So I planted it in the ground during what is a really good time for Mississippi to plant, because this is our rainy season. And I tend to kill a lot of trees when I plant them in February, but when we plant in the fall, we have much better success. So this white oak hopefully will be successful. So let's take a look at the first reason, which is #1 reason why it's a fantastic tree to plant. But the #1 reason is for carbon sequestering. This tree will sequester a ton of carbon. It can live up to 900 years and it'll be massive. So it's a great tree for the environment in general. Now we are planting it in an area where we already have other oak trees, but this will be like our other oak trees in the fact that, and this is our #2 reason, is it will have a massive canopy, and a massive canopy does 2 things. #1, it shades your area, cools your landscape, and then secondly, it adds a placement to take down the rain. So when it pours with rain, it hits the tree and it doesn't hit the ground, which hitting the ground causes the soil to erode. So it'll be fantastic as it grows up. Of course, it's going to take a long time to grow up. It's not going to grow up anytime soon. But as it grows bigger, it will eventually, its canopy will protect the soil and prevent soil erosion. One of my favorite reasons for adding this tree to our landscape is that it is probably one of the best trees in North America for caterpillars. It will host up to 500 even more caterpillars. And caterpillars, for those of you who don't know, like I read this book and I think that was probably one of my biggest takeaways from this book, is caterpillars are essential to our birds. They are basically what baby birds survive on. So when you add a tree to your landscape that gives you massive amounts of caterpillars, they essentially can feed the future of the birds. So this tree is going to be fantastic for that. And you compare that to like a non-native tree. Let's say we put in a non-native, I don't know, maybe a Japanese maple. I don't know for sure the numbers on it, but usually what happens is non-native trees only can feed a handful of creatures on it. So maybe we'll provide 10 caterpillars, but one that can provide 557 is adapted for a zone and essential for our bird populations. All right, so #4. We've got through soil erosion, we've got through caterpillars, we have got through carbon sequestering, and the other major reason why a white oak tree is amazing is actually what we're looking at, is leaves. Leaves are essential for bug life. They live not only bug life, but soil life as well. It creates fantastic soil. But in addition to that, bugs thrive by living underneath the leaves. It's one of the major reasons why fireflies are struggling to exist. We've become a society where we burn our leaves and where green lawns take over and there can't be a leaf on it. Unfortunately, it really impacts the bugs that survive over winter on the leaves. But an oak tree will put off a fantastic canopy of leaves and help harbor the bugs for the next season. So number 5, the very last reason, and kind of similar to, I think it was number 3, but number 5 is the absolute great ability for an oak tree to provide for habitat. It is a huge tree for overall nature, not just caterpillars, but for squirrels and deer. The nuts that fall off of it are huge for feeding nature in general, plus the different bug species that thrive off of it. So it's a huge one in general just for the food web and supporting the food web for nature. Very big thank you to our viewer that suggested this book. I highly recommend it. The white oak is really only about 2 or 3 pages of this book, so this is full of great information. It's become a coffee table book at our house, so I highly recommend it. I will put a link down in the description down below, so if you're interested in more information on that book, you can check it out. And if you all have other recommendations of great books, nature and or otherwise, I'm a big book reader, so by all means send me your suggestions. I love to hear about them. I tend to get them from thrift stores. That's kind of how I go, but this one was worth every penny, and I did get it brand new from Amazon. So if you have the room, please consider adding this tree, and if it's native to your area, please consider adding this tree for habitat to your yards. It's a great one. I should mention where I got it. It was from TyTy Nursery, and I believe it's in Georgia. I'll also have a link for that down in the description below. They've been fantastic. I've ordered a great number of trees from them, and they are great to work with. So by all means, check them out as well. So that's it, you guys. Be friendly, be kind.